Welcome to Barnstable Today's Year in Review. There were a few changes to our daily morning show in 2017. We updated our format from an hour-long show to a half an hour in an effort to streamline the information to you, our viewer. Sarah Mantle moved with her family across the country in late August, and I stepped up as host in September. Although we've been through some changes, our goal has always been to bring you all the news and information you need to keep you informed about what's going on right here in the town of Barnstable. In this year in review, we'll look back on the past year and share some of our favorite interviews and segments. We hope you will join us again next year. Channel 18 is committed to the town's mission statement to provide the best possible services consistent with our budget policy, to respond to the needs of our community, and to openly involve all in protecting our unique character and quality of life. We will be back on January 3rd with all new shows. From all of us here at Channel 18, we wish you a Happy New Year.
Hello, I'm Mackenzie Connor, intern for Channel 18. Today we have Barnstable High School seniors Matt Geiler and Maddie Lamoth joining us to talk about the newest production of High School Musical. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So can you tell me a little bit about your roles in the play and how it all started?
Well, I'm playing Ryan Evans, and...
Oh, I'm playing Gabriela Montez, and it basically started as kind of like a little joke between the juniors mostly. I think the seniors were gone at that point. But we kind of really wanted to do this show because we knew it would get us a lot of attention and it would kind of make us a lot of money. And it would be really fun to do just as like a really fun fall show in place of a haunted house. So we asked Billard and he was like, of course, we can do that. But it was all up to us to do everything. So I co-directed, and Matt was assistant to the director. You're also paint lead.
I also paint lead, so I helped design the set and design the paint for the set.
Nice. So what does it look like being a director for the show?
It was deceptively hard to do. It's a really energetic show, and we wanted to not carbon copy the characters, but we wanted to let everyone see the show, like the movie on stage. So it was really tricky getting everyone to kind of, because we have a lot of new actors, so we had to get everyone kind of on the same page. A lot of people were learning stuff. We have a lot of dancing in this. So it was hard, but it was really rewarding. I'm really proud of how it's going to look on stage.
So what do rehearsals and like dress rehearsals look like?
So rehearsals usually start at like 2 o'clock, 2:30, and they usually run until about 5 o'clock. This week, it's a little different though, because we have a lot of moving parts. We have the band, we have getting into hair, makeup, costuming, miking yourself up. And so that call for that is usually at 4 o'clock, and that usually runs to about 8-ish. And we're doing that all week until opening.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So where do you get all your costumes for the show?
It kind of depends. Thankfully, a lot of the costumes for the show are like pedestrian high school students. So a lot of the things we could bring in ourselves. But like these jerseys that I'm wearing right now, we had to order ourselves. And I actually was the one who handled that order. We bought them from Advanced Embroidery in Hyannis. And that was very a worthwhile purchase because they look great on stage. And yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of thrift shopping.
Yeah.
It was a lot of thrift shopping in order to find, like, we tried to replicate exactly what Gabriella wore, almost. I think I did an okay job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of collecting things, and then we found stuff from the costume closet, and it was just a lot of combining, like, little items in order to make a better costume.
Yeah.
So you guys finally excited to put all your hard work to play?
It's going to be so much fun to perform this show.
Yeah, the band sounds really good. Everyone's really excited. The dances look great. So I'm really excited for everyone to come see it.
Nice. And when are the productions?
It opens November 17th, and it runs until November 25th, with shows on the 17th, the 18th, and the 24th and 25th at 7. And then we have 2 matinees on the 19th and the 25th at 2.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in today. Good luck with the play.
Thank you.
And today we have senior Jolene Phillips and sophomore Hannah Bertling here to talk about the Barnstable High School production of High School Musical. So are you guys excited for the show?
Oh, I'm so excited. The show's a lot of fun. It has so much energy.
Good.
I know, I'm very excited.
What are your roles in the show?
So I play Troy Bolton. He's like the star of the basketball team in his high school. He's a big jock guy, played by Zac Efron in the movie.
Nice.
I'm the production stage manager.
So what are your responsibilities?
So I control traffic backstage, make sure everyone is where they need to be and there's nobody in the way, and I make sure the set pieces get on and off stage on time and in an orderly fashion.
So you do all like the back scenes kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And she does a great job.
Good.
Well,
What is your role?
So Troy Bolton, he's like a big basketball star. This is my first musical, so it's been pretty challenging, like getting into the role, and I don't have a dance background or like a real acting background. This is my first big show, so like it's been a huge challenge, but it's a lot of fun. It's a very exciting show.
Nice. So what do your rehearsals and like run-throughs look like?
Well, up until these past 2 weeks, they've been starting at 2 and going to 5, and we usually will take a couple days for acting and dancing and singing, and we'll try to cycle those and make sure we get everything down. But the past 2 weeks, we've been going from 5 to around 4 to 8, and we've been doing full run-throughs of the show with each cast.
That's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it's been a little different.
It's draining, but it's a lot of
So
fun.
it's been a little different for backstage. While they were at rehearsals, we'd be back in the shop building. We've built this whole thing.
Wow.
Took a lot of time and a lot of work, but everyone was really good. And then past 2 weeks, we've started full run-throughs, and while they're acting, we're backstage getting everything ready to go out and off, and it's been okay.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Good luck with the show.
Thanks so much.
Good morning. Welcome to the PD, and thank you all for coming. This certainly is an important day for the 3 newest sergeants. You know, our greatest assets, our greatest resources that we have in this organization is our personnel. And today it's a privilege and honor to promote these individuals to rank as sergeant. They are 3 outstanding officers, and they bring some very specific and some very unique talents back to Patrol Division. Sergeant Martinez. Sergeant Martinez is a 7-year veteran of the department. He is currently assigned to the Investigative Services Division. He is the assistant team leader for the regional SWAT team. Officer Martinez is a member of the mountain bike unit, the Marine unit, and the Honor Guard, and also is a field training officer. Officer Martinez holds a master's degree from Curry College. Officer Driftmeyer is a 23-year veteran of the Barnstable Police Department. Since 2009, he has had the position of crime analyst. Officer Driftmeyer has earned a number of specialty positions, including the SWAT team, the regional SWAT team, the field training officer, and evidence officer. He is a member of the mountain bike unit. Officer Driftmeyer was appointed as the assistant director of the Assistant Police Academy. Officer Driftmeyer holds a bachelor's degree from Western New England University. Sergeant Jason Sturgis. Sergeant Sturgis is a 17-year veteran of the department. He is currently assigned to the Community Impact Unit, having served that unit since its inception in 2014. Sergeant Sturgis has held specialty assignments, including crime scene photographer, field training officer, and mountain bike unit. Sergeant Sturgis holds a master's degree from Curry College.
I, Robert Edward Martinez, do solemnly affirm that I will do my duty
as a police sergeant of the Barnstable Police Department.
as a police sergeant of the Barnstable Police Department.
I will uphold, defend, and enforce
I will uphold, defend, and enforce
the ordinances of the town of Barnstable,
the ordinances of the town of Barnstable,
the laws, rules, and regulations,
the laws, rules, and regulations
of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and the Constitution of the United States of America.
and the Constitution of the United States of America.
To the best of my ability, so help me God.
To the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you.
I'd also like to recognize and thank the town manager for coming this morning. We appreciate everything you do for this police department. And at this time, I will welcome everybody to come up and congratulate the 3 newest sergeants of the Barnstable Police Department and thank you all for coming. Good job.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ann Quirk, Town Clerk. I just love that. I am the Town Clerk for the Town of Barnstable, and I would like to welcome all of you to the swearing-in ceremony that all newly elected officials of the Town of Barnstable have to go through. So first, I have to take the oath of office, and I'm going to be sworn in by a Justice of the Peace, and that person happens to be my Assistant Town Clerk, Janet Murphy. So she will do the honors for me.
Tonight, I swear you in to your second term as the Town Clerk of the Town of Barnstable. You are the 34th clerk and the third woman to be elected into the position since the 1600s. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Ann Quirk,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that as the duly elected Town Clerk
that as the duly elected Town Clerk
of the Town of Barnstable,
of the Town of Barnstable,
that I will fairly and impartially
that I will fairly and impartially
comply at all times
comply at all times
with the provisions
with the provisions
of federal,
of federal,
state,
state,
and local laws
and local laws
that may govern or pertain to
that may govern or pertain to
the position of Town Clerk,
the position of Town Clerk,
to the best of my knowledge and abilities,
to the best of my knowledge and abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God. I think you all know that it takes a lot of time and effort for people to commit to doing the jobs that you're all doing for the town. And it takes time away from family and friends, and it's, you all should be commended, because it's not easy. And we're all thrilled that you're here. From the Housing Authority, I do see Michael Sweeney is here. I don't see Richard Cross, so Michael, we're gonna start with you then. If you'll please come up here. Please raise your right hand. You're going to repeat after me.
Just like
I did. I state your name.
I, Michael Sweeney,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will perform my duties
that I will perform my duties
as they relate to the Barnstable Housing Authority
as they relate to the Barnstable Housing Authority
to the best of my knowledge and capabilities,
to the best of my knowledge and capabilities,
keeping uppermost in my mind
keeping uppermost in my mind
what is best for the town of Barnstable
what is best for the town of Barnstable
and its inhabitants.
and its inhabitants.
This is my oath and obligation,
This is my oath and obligation,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're going to start with the newly elected members of the town council. Would you please come forward as I call off your names? All right, I'm going to have you all raise your right hands. And you're going to repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Paul Neary, Matthew Levesque,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will perform my duties
that I will perform my duties
as a town councillor for the town of Barnstable
as a town councillor for the town of Barnstable
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
keeping uppermost in my mind
keeping uppermost in my mind
the rules and laws that govern my office
the rules and laws that govern my office
and what is best for the town of Barnstable
and what is best for the town of Barnstable
and its inhabitants.
and its inhabitants.
This is my oath and obligation,
This is my oath and obligation,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you.
I'm Melissa Chartrand. In today's art segment, we spend time with artist David Lewis. You may be familiar with his work in downtown Hyannis, including the bronze sculptures of Ino at the top of Hyannis Village Green and President John F. Kennedy in front of the Kennedy Hyannis Museum. Did you know that Mercy Otis Warren and James Otis statues at the Barnstable County Courthouse in Barnstable Village were his first sculpted public figures here in the town of Barnstable? David talks about his many works, working with life-size figures, and what it is like to be a self-taught artist and his creative process.
My work, mainly through the years, has been commission work. And during that course of time, I've done 8 life-size figures in public view or public spaces. A life-size figure, it takes me anyways, between 7 and 9 months of just sculpting. Then there's a whole long process of casting. You know, it takes another 4, sometimes 5 months. So there's a lot involved with it. Long story short, I came down with mahogany asthma, so, which I still have, but I mean, I could hardly breathe, so it got pretty bad there. So I had to quit carving, but there was a fella in town, Lou Cataldo again. He was sort of a town historian. Lou has passed on now, but he saw the piece at Christ the King, and he was looking for a sculptor at the time. And he had in mind to do James Otis Jr. In front of the Superior Court in West Barnstable at the courthouse, there are 2 statues. One is James Otis Jr., and one is his sister, Mercy Otis Warren. Yeah, that came about. He liked what he saw, and so that was my first public figure. Mercy Otis Warren followed that. Iano followed that. Things just kind of kept going. And there have been others as well, but that's how it all really started. Iano. Iano there's a lot of anatomy, and it's going on Main Street, and, you know, I mean, I'm self-taught. A friend of mine who everybody's passed away now, I'm getting old, but anyways, I had just started the figure, it was in here, and he was a sculptor too. He came over and he looked at it, and he said, you know, everybody on Cape Cod is going to be looking at this. He said, I wouldn't be in your shoes for all the tea of China. And that didn't do my, you know, confidence much good, because, you know, the thoughts are, you know, whoever told you, Louis, that you can do this stuff? You know? I don't know about other artists, but I know there's a lot of self-doubt, and especially when you're putting yourself out on a limb and you know, pushing yourself right to the limits to do this, to try to make it good, because it's going to be scrutinized by the public and all. So it's not the most comfortable. You don't sit back and, you know, with your little finger up in the air and poof, you know, it's created. It doesn't happen that way, you know. Well, not with me, anyways. So, you know, I'll come down here to work, and usually it's about 2 hours. But I'll go to work, and I don't care what I'm going to hit, her, him, or her, whoever it is. And I just fall into working. And 2 hours will go by, 2 hours of work. And then I'll be working, and I'm getting tired. During those 2 hours, I'm conscious and all that, but it's, I read, doesn't matter, one time, single-mindedness is a form of meditation. you know, and so the attention is here, especially with the human figure, because it is so difficult and so expressive. So people ask me, you know, are you going to retire? And I, first off, can't afford it. Secondly, you know, it's like, I want to retire from breathing? I don't think so, you know, not yet anyways.
Osterville Art Gallery on West Bay Road in Osterville features the work of David Lewis. You can get gallery hours and more information at his website, davidlewissculpture.com. And of course, to learn more about the events and programs happening every day in the town of Barnstable, head to artsbarnstable.com. For Inside Arts Barnstable, I'm Melissa Chartrand, wishing you an artful day.
Hello, I'm Mackenzie Connor, an intern for Channel 18 News, and today we have seniors at Barnstable High School, Allison Carter and Cameron Roberts Capac, to talk about a composting program they set up at the school. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie.
Can you just start off by telling us a little bit about what exactly this composting program is?
The compost program that we've started at Barnstable High School is our student initiative to make our community more green and more sustainable by finding a purpose for the food waste, which we have an excessive amount at our high school.
Good. So where did this idea come from?
So basically last year we were in a AP environmental class with Mr. Gorel. At the end of the year, the seniors leave early, so it was just 6 juniors left, and he told us to do a project, and he was very vague about it. He didn't say anything else. He just said, do a project. So we had the idea just to compost, and that's where it started. And then Mr. Gorel mentioned that Kelvin Ng from the Challenger Club was looking for a school to compost with. So we instantly emailed him, and he got back to us, and then we just set up the plans, and we finally got the composting machine this summer.
Good. Where are the composting bins located at your school? Do people just like put their leftover food in them, or?
So we have 2 cafeterias. One is the main caf. It's 8th graders through 10th, and we have 3 yellow bins in there, and at the end of lunch they just bring their food up and scrape the leftovers in. And then we have the junior senior caf, and they do the same thing, but there's 2 bins. And then we also have the child development. It's a daycare in our school, and we have 1 yellow bin there where they empty their food waste at the end of the day.
Cool. So where does the compost go next after that?
We're currently figuring that out. So the EcoBin machine, it converts it into a potable water and a fertile soil amendment. So that can be used for things such as fish feed, animal feed, biofuel, or what our main purpose we're looking to use it for is for compost, to mix it with traditional or just as fertilizer. So we're working with Challenger Club and several other local organizations and businesses to figure out where we can use that next. But luckily the spring growing season is 2 corners away. So,
how is this beneficial for the environment?
So the machine, it greatly reduces the amount of food waste we produce, which is one of the top 3 items that is wasted in the landfills. So rather than having it build up methane gas and damage the ozone layer, it's converted into a product that we can use and use for growing our own food and different things that make it practical.
So the EcoBin is pretty expensive. How did you get all the money to receive this bin?
Since we teamed up with the Challenger Club, they're a nonprofit organization. They work with children with disabilities, and they do a bunch of fundraisers, and that's where the money came from. And then now they're looking to do grants to pay for it.
After we decided to work with Kelvin from Challenger Club, we've attended some of the fundraisers and their sporting events ourselves, and that inspired us to incorporate the special education students in our school, since they already do so many things between recycling and all of that stuff. So we've met with the teachers several times, and they're on board. So another component that we feel is really important to this program and having it in the school is that this will provide a job skill and allow them to have increased socialization opportunities with mainstream students.
Cool. That sounds like a great program to be a part of. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck in the future with this.
Thank you.
Thank you.